really means a lot to me. This place, Aquinas, means an awful lot to me. It was a special set of years when we were here, and met a lot of great people that are still some of my closest friends. In fact, I'd say that the friends I met at Aquinas have been my friends for life. In fact, a lot of them are here tonight, and I really appreciate they're here. We also have Father Divine here, who was our Dean of Students when we were seniors. He's a really important guy in our lives there. As a group, this class of 69, a number of them, we get together from time to time. And I noticed as we get older, we must feel we're running out of time because we get together a lot more often than we did when we were younger. Probably because we were building our careers and taking care of our families back then. But now as we were in our, I guess we're in our mid-60s, huh, Bill? Well, I am, yeah, I know it was me. We get together pretty often. And the thing that, a couple of weeks ago, I was having lunch with John Burnt, who's sitting over here, and we realized that every time we get together with anybody from our class, we pick up right where we left off. And it's because I think we came together as a family when we were here. And it was really special. Of course, the place was, at least from a facilities perspective, was much smaller. We had 3 buildings over there, 2 of them were classroom buildings, and we had this gym. And it's great to see the gym still standing, let alone look as good as it does tonight. Because, as I was thinking about coming here, I realized that, our lives revolved around things we did in this gym. We took our entrance exams here. For those of us who played in the 7th and 8th grade basketball league, the big thrill was to play a tournament in the Aquinas gym. We did basketball games, wrestling, we PE in this building, but we did all kinds of things. We had assemblies, we had whole school masses. In fact, John, I was thinking the other day, weren't we right over here playing the guitar in a really new thing called a guitar mass? We had a great time here, and a lot of things that brought back a lot of memories, just this building. And not to mention the other things we did here, like we did plays. I heard John talking tonight, talking about the musical we did when we were seniors called The Girl from Jazztown. It was hilarious. And John, I have to tell you, I had some old school newspapers and I read the review of The Girl from Jazztown. And it said, "You stole the show," singing, "Somebody Stole My Gal." And I think it was Tom, wasn't it? He stole your gal. Anyway, we developed these great relationships here that were really lasted a lifetime, and they're still lasting. And like I said, they're the closest friends that I have in life, are the ones that I made when I was here at Aquinas. In addition to that, we learned a lot here at Aquinas, and we had some great teachers. We also had some goofy teachers, right, guys? A couple of those teachers had a big influence on me. The first is Father Earl Riviere, and I'm sure in the time that you've done this, if you've run into people who had Father Riviere as their teacher, they probably always mentioned him. He was a very highly principled, spiritual man who was tough as nails. He just reminded me of a Marine. He was tough, but I learned 2 things from him. Part of it was to always do the right thing because he demanded that, and that's what he did in his own life. But he also taught us to, the first day he was our teacher, the first day, first class at Aquinas. And he taught us that day to never come to his class unprepared. And that day, none of us were prepared, and he made us understand that. So we always had to be prepared, and he always gave us more homework than anybody could imagine. So coupled with a lot of homework and always be prepared, he always took care of Father Riviera first. But I have to tell you, as I went through life, the work ethic he instilled in us and the be prepared ethic that he did served me very well in everything I did in life. The second person I'd like to talk about that had a big influence on my life was somebody that I was talking to Bill Lemon last night, and I thought that maybe not that many people know about Father Ed Andre. We have a baseball field out here named after him, but it's been nearly 30 years since Father Andre was with us. And he was probably the most influential person outside of my parents in my life. Excuse me. If I get a little emotional about this, because it's something that touched me a lot. And I'm getting older, and so if you could go to the internet and search for a website called Old Men Crying, and I understand it because it's what I do as I've gotten older. So, but Father Andre didn't become a Catholic priest until he was almost 60 years old. I think he was a seminary classmate of Father Divine. But Father Andre, when he graduated from De La Salle High School in Chicago, and after he graduated, he went down to Notre Dame to enroll in the seminary. And he worked his way while he was in the seminary and college at Notre Dame as the secretary or the administrative assistant to the president of the university. After about a year down there, he had a family emergency and had to leave school and went home, always with the idea he would go back. Well, he took a job with the railroad and rose to the position of special assistant to the president of the Chicago and Eastern Illinois Railroad. And when he was in his mid-50s, he got an early retirement. The railroad wasn't doing very well. They offered him to retire early. And he said, well, now maybe I can go back and become a priest. And he searched, and he went to the Diocese of San Diego where they were taking late vocation. And Bishop Buddy took him into the seminary. And when I was in 8th grade, Bill Lemon and Mike Riddell were both there. Father Andre shows up. And he was a parish priest, 60 years old. Well, he became our friend. He became a friend of my family. And he had a great influence on me. When I was a junior, early in my junior year here at Aquinas, I went to Mass one morning at Holy Rosary, and Father Andre said to me, he said, you gonna be home this afternoon? I said, yeah. He said, I'm coming over. So he came over. My parents stayed inside, and he and I sat on our front porch. And he said to me, where are you going to go to college? I said, well, I know I'm going to go to college, but I don't know where. I said, maybe Valley College, maybe UC Riverside. He said, no, I think you need to go to Notre Dame. And I said, well, I never thought I could go there. And I never thought about going to a big school like that. And he said, I'm going to tell you a story. He said, I just inherited some money. He said, there was a woman in Chicago who was a great friend of mine. In fact, he says she was a teacher, and she was all about education for young people. He says, to tell you the truth, she was in love with me. But we never got married because I always held out hope that I could become a priest. And he says, she died, and she left me some money. And she said, if you would like to go to Notre Dame, you can have any or all of it that you need to go there. I was stunned. So we began to work on getting me into Notre Dame. He helped me every step of the way. We never really used much of that money because we found scholarships and loans and other things we could do. But I'll tell you, and Bill Lemon will know this about Father Ed, he used that money in his railroad retirement to help all kinds of young people and people from Aquinas through the years. He spent a few years at Aquinas, living up here in the gym with Father Divine. And he was a chaplain, said Mass daily, took care of everybody. Well, without Father Andre, who the field's named after up there, I probably wouldn't have been able to do what I did in my life. And I owe that all to him. Anyway, this is great. I just want to close with saying a little bit about something about Catholic education. I've had 16 years of Catholic education. In fact, my classmate for the 16 years from Holy Rosary to Aquinas to Notre Dame was Mike Riddell. I'm very honored to get this award that's named after him. And I look back at when we were here, our tuition was $250 a year. And we were all from working class parents who lived paycheck to paycheck, but found a way to pay our tuition in Catholic schools. I looked at the cost of attending Aquinas today, and I think it would be very difficult for my parents to send me to Aquinas or my sister to St. Bernard's as she did. But I think it's something that we can all take very seriously, because I think it's a great thing for us to do what we can that have been through here to help as many young people as possible come back to this great institution. Because, I don't know, maybe you don't realize how much this place means to you until you get older. But I do, and it means a lot, and I thank you very much.